Hello, everybody. It's JL. Thank you, as always, for being great, loyal listeners of Making Podcasts Great Again. As you can anticipate, this is the part of the show where I beg you to do something for me. At the end of this month, September 26th, to all fans anywhere near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I will be headlining Helium Comedy Club Sunday, September 26th at 7 p.m. Tickets are up now. You can get them at jlcomedy.com. Just go to my calendar page. It has the link to that and all of the shows that I am doing. Speaking of those shows, if you're in Raleigh, North Carolina on October 6th, I will be at Good Nights. And if you live in Long Island, okay, to the 5 Democrats who live in Long Island and don't love Trump, or if you do love him, still come out and see me. I am at the Brokerage in Belleville, Long Island. Belmore. Well, Bell something. Bell Hooks. Feminist literature. Belmore, Long Island. Not less. Belmore, Long Island. Friday, October 15th at 8 p.m. Need people to come to that show. And then, of course, last but not least, the special taping, October 23rd, 2 shows, 7 p.m., 9:30 p.m. in New York City. Everything is on the calendar at jlcomedy.com. Thank you for your support. And now let's get to another strong episode of my very powerful podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the President of the United States of Mar-a-Lago, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Lashana Tova, Mr. President. How are you?
Shania Twain to you as well.
It's Rosh Hashanah, Mr. President. Do you know that? You know, Ivanka celebrates it, I'm sure.
Oh, you know,
Jared.
Shaka Khan, the whole group. We support them very strongly.
It's the Jewish New Year. Rosh Hashanah.
Are they too good for strong regular New Year?
No, it's just there's a Jewish calendar, and in the Jewish calendar, it is the New Year right now.
Oh no, well, believe
the
me,
Hebrew calendar, or whatever you want to call it.
We've been selling a lot of the 12 months of Ivanka. It's a very top bestseller. Strong Jewish calendar, bikini shots, the whole thing. But she wears. There's one where she, you know, for December. She's naked except for 2 dreidels covering her nipples. So it's very family friendly, very strong Jewish.
Are you familiar, Mr. President? Have you ever heard a shofar being blown?
I think Mike Pence has done that.
It's a ram's horn. And in Temple, they blow this horn celebration of the Jewish New Year.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, Aladdin and Jafar, have a nice, happy New Year.
Well, I was just curious, you ever went to Temple with Ivanka during the High Holy holidays?
Well, every day around Ivanka is sort of a holiday.
Okay. So I'm taking you're not celebrating Rosh Hashanah this year. How was your Labor Day?
Well, you know, I don't stop working. You know, that's for sort of the poor people who work stupid jobs. We let them have the day off, but I had to continue to work for my industries, for my organizations, and most importantly, to stop the steal.
Stop the steal. That's your new slogan going these days, huh?
Yes. I mean, it used to be bury the prostitute, but I figure, you know, more appropriate right now is stop the steal.
Did you play any golf this weekend?
I played a little golf. You know, it's a holiday weekend, so the black caddies don't get the day off. I sort of enjoy that.
How'd you do? Did you play with anyone special this past weekend? Since, you know, people are traveling for the holiday, maybe someone came to Mar-a-Lago to play with you.
Yes. In fact, Kid Rock is not a bad golfer, by the way.
Does he dress in golf attire, or is he still rock and roll when he's on the golf course?
Does a fur coat count as golf attire? Because it is formal. It's very formal.
He golfs in a fur coat.
He does. It's kind of cool. I got to be honest. I sort of, you know, that's not my look, but I think he pulls it off.
How does he swing in a fur coat, or he just rides in the golf cart, doesn't really play?
Oh no, he golfs. He golfs. He's more solid golfer than you'd expect.
That's amazing. I played golf this weekend, Mr. President. I'd love to play with you one day if
Well, nobody asked what you were doing, tech stuff. I think you're here
I-
just to do the tech stuff. Kind of in the name. It's not golf adventures, guy.
okay.
I
Now,
feel rested. I feel like I'm coming out with a lot of strong content after the well-rested weekend.
that's good. So, but you said you never take off work. So why are you well rested?
It's okay. Yeah, you think you got me? Tech
No, I was
stuff?
just wondering because if you're
I still work. We still do strong work, of course. We don't take the day off. I can work a little less. It's called less work. It's not called no work.
so you did less work on Labor Day weekend.
A little bit less.
Okay. Now, I've been reading about you recently,
Well, of course you have.
and I want to congratulate you on your weight loss. I think you've dropped some lbs since being president. Are you cutting down on the McDonald's?
No, we're not cutting. It's called when you don't have the fake news. And you know me, I'm very strong, very tough, probably tougher than anybody you know. But I'd be, I always like to tell the truth. When you don't have the fake news bothering you all the time and you're, processing deportation papers for your wife, it gives you a sort of relaxation. I don't need as many snacks to be sort of, relaxed. I can just sort of breathe in the fresh air, go for a walk, do some powerlifting in the basement, just a lot of different things. It's sort of being president. Not a lot of people know this, but it is a tough job. I might have done it better than anybody ever, but that doesn't mean it was easy.
Are you working out at all? Did BB give you any Krav
Did you
Maga
not hear me
tips?
say? Did you not hear me say powerlifting?
Powerlifting, but powerlifting doesn't make you lose weight. That actually
No,
adds muscle
No,
mass.
it adds some muscle, but it's a calorie burn. A guy on TikTok said it's all about calorie deficit. If you're burning more calories than you're taking in, you're going to lose weight, even if you're doing strong and very strong powerlifting.
Any cardio is what I'm asking.
Well, sure. I mean, yes, melatonin. She's like, no, I don't want to have sex tonight, Donald. And I'm like, well, I guess it's going to be more of a, elliptical sort of workout, having sex with you tonight. Usually it's more like a hip thrust, but if we got to get the arms involved, then so be it. It's called total body sex workout.
Also, I read that, is this true? I'm not going to accuse you of anything. Did you stop tanning or using tanner or using spray tanner? Because in photos from when you were president to now, you are way less orange.
It's called, excuse me, I get a little angry when I hear these accusations. The idea that I would want to darken my skin for anything other than a strong Halloween costume as an African American is a total joke. They make these, there's a place, you've probably heard of it, even you. It's called the Photoshop. And this is where the fake news, they take their photos and they go to the store and they say, hello, Photoshop person. Can you make this look different, please? And they go, yes, of course. We at the Photoshop, we don't like Donald J. Trump because they're radical. It's a radical left shop, the Photoshop. They probably don't even pay their taxes. And when they take it there, they do all sorts of alterations and they make it look totally different. And it's just, we're looking into having the Photoshop prosecuted. So that's what they do. So they spent time making it look like I didn't have a strong, natural, healthy glow, even though my own doctor said I was the most healthy president that they'd ever seen in the history of the country. So the Photoshop is doing it. And now they don't have the Photoshop do it. They're focused on making Sleepy Joe look less sleepy. So that's what they're doing at the Photoshop now. So they don't have time to make me look different.
Mr. President, the Photoshop is not a place. It's Photoshop. It's when people can change the way an image looks on a computer. That's what Photoshop is.
Oh, okay. So tech stuff who barely knows tech things all of a sudden is a PhD in technical things. All of a sudden, Dr. Tech Stuff Guy, which was sarcasm, by the way. Nobody will ever call you doctor. Not on my podcast.
Okay, I'm just saying, if you Google the Photoshop and you want to go visit it, you won't find it.
I'll take you to the Photoshop.
Finish that one.
I wish Ivanka had no top.
Bravo.
Na, 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 na.
On a more serious note, Mr. President, I wanted to talk to you about Texas trying to outlaw abortions, no abortion after 6 weeks, no matter what. They're basically trying to take away women's rights. I know you are a very religious man, very pro-life, but I want to hear your opinion on this, where this can go with the country. Sleepy Joe said he plans on fighting this. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, Sleepy Joe's going to be too busy sleeping to fight anything. Okay, so I'm not too worried about him. Well, you left out the other part of that story because it's not just about Texas.
Well, that's right. Mexico is voting to decriminalize abortion as well.
You notice this, listeners? You notice strong patriots who listen to this? You notice how the tech stuff guy left out the biggest part of the story, that Mexico is decriminalizing abortion. You know what that means? That means that there's going to be millions and possibly billions of Mexican fetuses. They're called El Fito. El Fito will be, sort of crawling across our border and looking for Gerber baby food, as well as nurses to rape. And this is what's happening. So Greg Abbott, okay, we call him Wheels. He is taking a strong stance. He's saying, we have to fight this army of Mexican rapist fetuses with our own army of patriotic, strong Texas children. They're called children here. They're not called fetuses. And I think it's a great move. Can you imagine? With the next great war is going to be fought on the Mexican border between American babies and Mexican fetuses who want to rape American babies.
What is it in Spanish again? Fetus?
El Fito. Feto. Or Los Fitos, because it's going to be an army.
Do you really believe this, Mr. President? You're not joking around here?
Excuse me. You can look it up. Do your research. They're going to come, and you think it's a joke until you wake up 10 months from now, and every breast in Texas has a Mexican fetus on it, sucking out great American milk from our most precious dairy farmers, our women.
Now, do you really think Mexico decriminalizing abortion is going to set off a crime wave of, as you call it, Los Fitos in America?
Tech stuff.
I've never seen a fetus commit a crime.
Have you ever seen a tornado in New Jersey? Because that shit just happened.
Okay, you're right about that. But have you seen a fetus ever really do anything?
I mean, can we go off the text of the podcast record?
Sure, we are off right now.
Well, I've seen a fetus get a Russian prostitute murdered. She said, Donald, I'm pregnant. And I said, well, bye-bye. So that fetus was sort of that Russian fetus, which is called a fyotus with a Y in Russian. Fyotus, Fyotus. That's, you didn't know I spoke Russian. Fyotus is that Fyotus was sort of an accomplice to the murder of that Russian prostitute. If he wasn't there, that Russian prostitute would live to have powerful sex with the president.
Are you trying to tell me that, do you know fetus in every language in the world?
No, just the ones where I've forced women into terminating their pregnancies. So just 19 countries.
What is fetus when you see Shinzo in Japan? What is the name for fetus in Japan?
Futikoki.
You're, that pronunciation is very, very legit right there. It sounded like you were a Japanese person for a second.
It's called respecting other cultures. And when you go to their pregnancy termination centers, you want to speak with respect.
I guess so. I don't even want to know fetus in any other languages. I'm good with Mexican language. Is that it?
We did in Mexican, Russian, and Japanese.
Yes. Have you spoken to Shinzo lately?
Not spoken to Shinzo lately, but maybe we could have him one day for a bonus episode.
I would love to have him on for a bonus episode, Mr. President. Definitely. And I want to get into a couple more stories with you before we take questioners that the listeners have sent in via social media. But we have two awesome sponsors this week. And that is, our first one is Raycon earbuds. I know you are a user of Raycon earbuds. I am. Raycon earbuds are awesome just because you can work out with them, right? You go on a run. And then also, if you're going on a flight somewhere or a long train ride, you could also use them. Like, there are some earbuds that you only want to work out in, but these are the earbuds that you can use for anything. They are awesome. No matter how you're feeling about, working out or just chilling out, Raycon earbuds, you can do anything. They're wireless. They got the longest battery life.
You know what I love about the wireless? I'm a tall guy. You're not a tall guy. I'm a tall guy. So when I work out very strongly, it's nice not to have a stupid cord. If I put it in my pocket, I'm so tall that sometimes it feels like somebody's trying to steal my device because it's tugging down. With the beautiful wireless, all of a sudden you're just like, oh, it's beautiful.
But also, some earbuds are only good for like music. This is good for music, meditation, podcasts like this one. They're the best way to listen to any kind of audio, even audio books. They're awesome. And they come with a bunch of different gel tips. So they'll fit any ear and they're comfortable. These are the best. And they have 32 hours of battery life. I don't know what is a better earbud out there than Raycon.
That destroys the competition. 32 hours.
Yeah. 32. That's unheard of. Usually it's like 3-5 hours, 32 hours.
Except you would hear of it if you're listening with great Raycon earbuds.
That's right. They start at half the price of other premium audio brands, and they're just as good or even better. And Raycons come with a 45-day happiness guarantee, so you really can't lose. Give them a try. You'll know what the president is saying. You know what I'm saying. Create your own soundtrack with Raycon. Right now, Making Podcasts Great Again listeners, you can get 15% off their Raycon order at buyraycon.com/MPGA. That's buyraycon.com/MPGA to save 15% on Raycons. Buyraycon.com/MPGA. Holidays coming up. Take advantage of the discount. Great Christmas gift or whatever you celebrate. But it's, again, buyraycon.com/MPGA for Raycon earbuds. Our next sponsor today is the powerful betonline.ag. It's that time of the year again, everyone, and all eyes are now turning to football. That's right. College football started this past weekend. NFL is starting this weekend. I am excited. Go Jets. As always, BetOnline is your number one spot for all the pro and college football action this season. You can't go wrong. Get all the updated odds, props, and contests, including online's biggest $500,000 NFL mega contest and the world's largest $200,000 NFL survivor contest. Open now at BetOnline. A survivor pool that's $200,000. That's crazy. Unheard of. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 100% welcome bonus. Be sure to take advantage of their opening day this Thursday super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday game, September 9th, the season opener between the Super Bowl champions Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. If you lose, your wager will be refunded up to $25 for new customers, but only when signing up and using promo code NFL100. So if you are not part of betonline.ag, perfect time this Thursday, get involved for the opening day, Bucks versus Cowboys, and use promo code NFL100 to get $25 refunded if you make the wrong bet. That's betonline.ag. Also, our listeners, join the Patreon if you haven't already. We have bonus episodes. We have special guests. We have movie reviews. We have live Q&A episodes and more coming to this year. Some special guests also coming in who have not been on yet. Go to patreon.com/MPGA. That's patreon.com/MPGA. Now, Mr. President, speaking of sports, the U.S. Open is in New York, always in New York, but it's this week.
You see the hat I'm wearing?
You were at the U.S. Open.
I was.
Did you enjoy it?
Well, I learned the hard way that when you're watching women's doubles, you're not supposed to yell hot foursome.
Now, are you familiar with a player named Novak Djokovic?
Yes, he's a very strong player, very talented. We like him.
Well, he is going for the calendar Grand Slam, winning every major in 1 year, which not many players.
You know what I call a Grand Slam? You know what a Trump Grand Slam is? I'm kind of tipping away a Fred Trump tradition here for the cheapies who don't subscribe to Patreon.
Please tell me.
A Trump Grand Slam. When you bang two Denny's waitresses while eating a Grand Slam breakfast.
That sounds like a great Fred Trump tradition for sure.
No, it was, we were, that's sort of, we were 10. It's, for kids, basically. It was more of not sort of our more adult traditions that we talk about on the Patreon.
Now, are you going to watch the U.S. Open at home? Now, I mean, going to it, but watching on TV, you have to put some effort into it to see if Novak Djokovic actually wins the Grand Slam.
I'll watch. I'll if I'm not golfing, we support. It'd be nice if an American tennis player could win.
No American men in it.
And no women. When was the last time an American woman won anything?
Probably one of the Williams sisters.
Well, I said American. I didn't say African American.
Okay, but they still represent our country. They're still American. The Williams sisters.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Do they raise the African American flag when they win?
Technically, well, she did crip walk at Wimbledon. But no, well, the point is, yes, we're being very technical. Tech stuff guys being very technical. Technically, they are American. Yes, I agree. Very good. But wink, wink, real Americans.
Now, if you want to talk about the last time an American man won it, that would probably Andy Roddick, I think, would be the last time an American man won it.
Man, you should have. Mike Pence in his gimp cage just woke up. He heard raw dick, and he was like, "Oh, what, sir?" And I say, "Get back in your cage, Mike Pence."
Does the vice president, does he watch tennis? Does he enjoy tennis?
Well, Pence was sad because Rafa Nadal was not in it, and he's sort of like a little more muscular. I think Pence likes his tennis players a little more buff. A lot of these guys are very skinny. So he was very disappointed that Rafa, Pence always talks with a list when he talks about Nadal. And I don't know if that's because he's extra gay or because he's doing like a Barcelona type thing. I can't tell, but he was very upset that Nadal wasn't in.
Now, I know you've played tennis before. There are pictures of you playing tennis. Do you follow tennis and golf? Because I feel like those are the two sports that you play. Or
No, I follow. It's just been, I'm an America First patriot. So when we don't have any good American tennis players on the women or men's side, I sort of lose a little interest.
I agree. It's definitely more exciting. I remember growing up and watching many Americans actually who were better tennis players, and it was more exciting to watch it than now when, um, yeah, usually every American's knocked out by the quarterfinals. Sad.
I think it's the woke. The woke people have scared great white athletes away. They don't want to do sports. They're afraid that somebody's going to kneel for their great anthem. So I think that's why white people aren't playing sports anymore.
Well, there's a great young African American men's tennis player. His name was T.S. I can't pronounce it. Tafulo, is that his name? Do you know who I'm talking about, Mr. President?
Pence, who's the black that you were drooling over? Francis Tiafo. Now look at Pence, who knows all the names.
Tiafo. Now he's a young American who
African American.
So if he wins, you would not count that as an American winning.
We'll count it 3/5.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Okay. You know what? I'll do a deal. We'll count it as 4/5. Not racist.
Now, one thing in pop culture I wanted to bring up. Cardi B. You've talked about her on this podcast a few times. You like her attitude? Are you fond of her still?
It reminds me, remember Rosie Perez in White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah.
One of the things I would have to do during that movie is I would mute the volume, but I wouldn't stop watching because those big Boricua boobies, we called them, would come flying out. And I said, okay, as long as she doesn't talk, we can do business, Rosie. And I feel that same way about Cardi Double D.
Okay. Now it's Cardi B and her husband, I think, still her husband, Offset. So rapper. They welcome their second child. Their first child.
White guy?
No.
Excuse me, that was presidential sarcasm.
I like to meet a white guy named Offset, but they have a daughter together. Her name is Culture with a K. And
I like that. I like the K names.
There you go. Now the second child, there's no gender revealed or no name revealed except a few celebrities messaged them back with blue hearts. So we're thinking it's a boy. What do you think they should name this boy? If it is a boy, which it's hinted to.
I would
Offset Jr.
I would say boy Cardi B and Offset. Ignorance.
Now, are you going to change ignorance with a different letter up front to make it fancy, like culture instead of a C, it's a K? A silent Q, maybe.
Maybe a silent N in front. Could you say that for the listeners?
No, I'm good. I'm sure our listeners are very bright. I think they can figure that one out.
But it's a silent N, so it's
Yes.
not racist. Okay. Don't let the fake news call this racist. It's actually the opposite of racism.
You're right. It definitely is. Okay. I wanted to get into listener questions. There were a lot of listener questions turned in this week by all platforms. So I really, I'd say maybe Instagram might have won. So we'll go to Instagram first. There were a lot of comments here. Some really good ones here. So you want to start with Instagram?
I'm good with Instagram.
What does President Trump think of Biden's grief for Beau? And hypothetically, what would be the appropriate way to grieve for Eric, Don Jr., Tiffany, Ivanka, Barron?
Don't know any of those people, but I do know that.
This is from. I'm sorry. This is from McTuthill on Instagram.
Yeah, he talks too much about Beau. So and get over it already. It's been many years. I would be sad if Ivanka died before I got to show her how much I love her.
How would you keep her legacy alive?
Probably by having like an Ivanka beauty contest each year named after her, where we pick a hottest, most promiscuous, tall blonde with big breasts each year and crown her Miss Ivanka Trump of that year. And then take a 2-week vacation with her.
Okay. How about Don Jr.?
Oh,
how Don Jr.? He's going out with the gargoyle. How would you keep his legacy alive?
By making sure that his kids don't get any portion of my inheritance.
Okay.
No, because then his kids will know, oh, Grandpa hated us as much as he hated our dad. Very consistent, very strong consistency.
I'm sure you're going to ignore this one, but how would you keep Tiffany's legacy alive?
By going to a kill shelter for animals and watching them put down an ugly dog, like a dog.
How often would you do that?
Well, I already do it once a week, so I'd have to go twice a week. Just one would be designated for me and one would be designated the Tiffany watch.
All right. I'm finding out so many new things about you, Mr. President. This next question comes from I3XR3X. Dr. Mr. President, Sir Esquire. With football season coming, we are reminded of your iconic role in the USFL before the radical left NFL treated you so unfairly. With future Senator Herschel Walker, any chance you bring a pro-America USFL back? Thank you, sir. Solid question.
Now I want to know, you tell me, is that our friend Alex from the Patreon? I think that might be his question. He's always a great.
It is. The way it's written.
This is somebody who needs to be in the leadership, and as we give the people our schedule, there's another impeachment at the live Q&A. And I think Alex, as much as we love the great Tom Fitzgerald, I think it would be a disservice to not have Alex run. He's proven to be a strong ideas person for the podcast. And now I like this idea for a patriotic football. Like, in other words, if you kneel or sit for the flag, you are out of the league. And I could see this, Herschel Walker would be obviously somebody who was a powerful pro player and I'm sure would back a patriotic football league. I would call it the American League of Football, ALF.
Okay.
So I like that idea, and I think we're going to look into it very strongly.
Are we going to do another 9 p.m. Eastern start?
I wasn't very pleased with. We can, but I wasn't very pleased with the turnout. It seemed we lost patriotic East Coast people trying to please the radical left West.
And we'll announce the date next week, Mr. President.
It'll obviously be towards the end of the month. I guess we keep on a Thursday, and it will be very strong for
probably the 23rd or 30th, one of those dates. This is a great question here, Mr. President. This is from, I think she's turned in some good questions. Turlin _ Dr. Mr. President Trump, sir. colleges and universities are approaching homecoming season next month. What will be some homecoming events, activities hosted at the prestigious Idaho Militia Christian Bible Tech? See, she messed it up. She messed it up. I can't even finish it. I can't even.
You know what? I expect better from, but if
I will.
excuse me, if our
Yeah.
supporters mess it up, I'll say it's okay. Idaho Militia Christian, they can say the short version if they want. I get it. Not everybody has the high.
She tried to write out the whole
IQ.
thing though.
I'll give her a double D for effort.
Okay.
But
it's Idaho Militia Christian Bible State Tech College. Now, what events will they have for homecoming?
okay, well, at homecoming, obviously, anybody who knows the school knows that there's some schools have like a bonfire, like at a rally, a book burning. There's a strong book burning, which symbolizes the beginning of homecoming.
Okay.
And then there's the homecoming queen of no consent. That's you can use your imagination for that. and then there is a gun fair, like a gun show. They call it a gun show. This is all night one of homecoming. And then there's a gun show. So you've got the book burning, the homecoming queen of no consent, and then a powerful gun show where anybody 12 and over can purchase a gun. And then obviously there's the big game. The big game is on Saturday, of course. Cornhole, a big game, a very competitive game of cornhole versus a rival of Idaho Militia Christian, Oklahoma Bible Tech State Militia Christian. So
huge rivalry.
So it is a huge rivalry.
What's their mascot?
Their mascot?
Yes.
Oh, their mascot is the illiterate sandworm.
Okay.
He's holding a book upside down and he's very stupid sandworm. But he's tough, like a lot of stupid people from Trump states, very angry. So
yes.
He may be dumb, but you still don't want to mess with that illiterate sandworm. And then, of course, Saturday night is probably the most emotional part of the, because it's as a Bible Christian school, it's not all fun. It's also spiritual growth. So what you have is every Saturday night at homecoming, one pair of first cousins consummate their relationship in front of the entire campus.
Oh, wow. Very entertaining. That's and do you pick the people, or how's the selection process made?
There's various cousins. They have to prove that they're first cousins, and they submit a lengthy application, and they have to get family members to vouch that they are in fact first cousins.
Right.
And then, once they, it's like a wedding dance, the couple comes out, dance, and then will you please join the couple on the day? So then what happens is it becomes a very powerful Christian swingers event. Okay. after they consummate. And then Sunday is, of course, dedicated to church services.
Of course. I mean, why wouldn't the whole weekend end in church services? That is I want to go. That's perfect. That's going to be a really good football game too. I'm very excited. Hopefully we can get to go.
No football, cornhole.
Oh, cornhole. Okay. I don't know if I want to go now.
Really? You don't want to see the cousin fucking orgy?
I guess you sold me. You sold
Saturday
me.
night, right before church services.
We have another question from Instagram. This is from DJ McConnell. Mr. President, sir, with the fake news reporting Melatonin doesn't want to be the first lady again, have you talked with Ivanka about filling the role or anyone else?
I have spoken to Ivanka, and she says for her country, she's willing to accept. And she's sort of proud. She said to me, Daddy, and I said, yes, I like it when you call me Daddy. And she said, Daddy, even though you are my powerful father, I feel like it's important that you have a partner that's American for another term. So I think she's willing to put patriotic duty ahead of, even some of our most sacred taboos. So, read into that what you will, but I think but obviously we have other people. As strong listeners of the show know, they have to understand that Lauren Boebert is going to be on the short list, pun intended, because she's a short little firecracker.
Okay.
Lauren Boebert is going to be on any short list of women that I take to Pound Town and make First Lady. So we like Lauren Boebert. Also, we're talking to Lauren Boebert. Probably one of the greatest bars I ever dropped on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, I can move past Boebert if I have to, but I'm very sort of committed to Boebert if Ivanka refuses the role. And then after that, we'll see. We might just do a tour of SEC schools and see, any busty dumb sluts want to make their Republican parents very proud. To be like an Uncle Sam. We're drawing up Uncle Sam posters, but instead of Uncle Sam, it's me in a big hat.
So it's like your version of The Bachelor.
Well, instead of a finger pointing saying "we want you," it's my penis coming out of my pants saying "we want you, hot chicks." So we're doing everything we can because a first lady is a very important role for a country.
Next question, Mr. President. We're going to Twitter now. From Twitter, this is at Ann Pagnotta. And as the widely acknowledged master of branding, do you consider the Stop the Steal campaign as a success or failure? Thank you, sir.
That's funny. I used that phrase earlier. Stop the Steal has been very successful. It's made tremendous awareness for people to know that their election was stolen. Now, the fake news is very powerful, but Stop the Steal, I think, will prove even more powerful.
Okay. Another question from this comes from Linda R949 945974484.
8675309.
Yeah, it's like a serial number. How would you rate Caitlyn Jenner on a scale of 1 to 10?
As what? Like a hot woman?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we respect Caitlyn Jenner. It's a talented person and loyal, sort of a loyal Republican, somebody who's open-minded and brave, and obviously has accomplished a lot and took a lot of courage. So I would say a 0.
Okay. I like from 1 to 10, she gets a 0. This is the last question that has come in from our listeners. And this is from Facebook, Matt Carroll. Dear Dr. Mr. Sir, President, PhD, Esquire, Sir, now that the America-hating, COVID-loving Cuomo is out as governor, will you perhaps think about making a run as the Mountain Dew governor of New York? God bless Idaho Militia Christian Bible Tech College.
Forgot the state.
He did.
That's so sad. So close, but
yeah, I didn't correct him that time. I just let it go.
The state is very important. We believe in states' rights in the Republican Party, not a radical left federal government. But that's a good question because New York certainly could use somebody like me running it instead of whatever the hell they've got in there now, some old woman from Buffalo. I don't think so. And de Blasio is talking about running. So I think the state is going to hell in a handbasket and it could use strong leadership. But the problem is, I think there's too many stupid radical left people in New York. I don't think they do what's right. They're too busy taking the vaccine to know what's good for them. And I think that I would do a great job in New York. Obviously, I think that goes without saying, but I'll say it. I would do a great job, but
it's your hometown, Mr. President. You do a great job.
But I think that state is too far gone in the radical left direction. I think it's a total disgrace what's happened in New York, and I think they're headed for a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
Well, Mr. President, I appreciate your time each and every week, including for all the bonus episodes. I want to thank our sponsors this week, Raycon. Go pick up a pair of Raycon earbuds and go to raycon.com. I meant buyraycon.com/MPGA. That's buyraycon.com/MPGA for 15% off your order. So check that out. And also opening week for the NFL. You want to make your bets, go to betonline.ag and use promo code NFL100. Basically, your first bet on Thursday night, it's a freebie. Either you're going to win or you're just not going to lose. So that's a win-win in my book. I love going to the casino. If I come out with the money I came with, that's a win in my book. So
if you
go for
don't,
that.
if you can't afford our Patreon, even though at this point, I don't know how you could listen to this show and not join the Patreon. It is next level. But if you can't, that's okay. But if you need earbuds, everybody needs earbuds for their podcasts, their music, their workouts. You can support the show by choosing these great Raycon earbuds and using the buyraycon.com/MPGA. And then that's like helping our show without actually even buying anything from us. Same with Bet Online. If you want to do some strong NFL gambling, there's only one place you should go. And you're not giving us anything, but you're helping the show. You're making the show look very strong to the sponsors.
And the t-shirts, everyone, the t-shirts, they are in order right now. Hopefully they will be on the site. They're just fixing the design. So it will go on the shirts and everything wants to be perfect. So we don't have to, no complaints. So they should be up. I'm hoping in a week. I know I said that last time, but this is a very busy company we're dealing with. And they pushed us up the order. So hopefully I have good news next week and you can order the t-shirts because like I said before, it's limited time. We're gonna have it up for like 2-3 weeks, maybe for a full month. And that's about it. And you can grab your shirt then. That's it here, Mr. President. Anything else?
Support the show, support the sponsors, make your life better by doing those things. Thanks everybody for listening. I think this was a killer episode. So just hopefully you can get tickets to some of those shows and also check out my other podcast. There's 2 episodes up this week already of Righteous PK podcast available on Apple and Spotify. 2 episodes, including my epic US Open recap, which is one of the funnier things I think I've done in months. So enjoy that. We thank you as always for your continued support, your laughter, your positive comments, all appreciate it, all make us feel good. So thank you, and go get vaccinated. Have a great week, and God help us all.